HarperCollins presents Midnight Never Comes, a Paul Chavasse novel, by Jack Higgins. Read by Greg Wagland. Chapter 1. Last Chance. The moment he pushed open the door and paused on the edge of darkness, Chavasse knew that he had made a bad mistake. Somewhere deep inside, a primitive instinct, that slightly mystical element common to all ancient races and inherited from his Breton ancestors, combined with the experience that came from 10 hard years of working for the Bureau, and touched him coldly, sending a wave of greyness moving through him. As he took a hesitant step forward, the darkness was filled with a hideous, frightening clamour, and a red light flashed on above his head, reaching into the four corners of the small room. Jorgensen was standing by the window, immaculate in the beautifully cut dinner jacket he had worn earlier, the rose still fresh in his lapel. He stood there, legs slightly apart, a .38 Smith & Wesson Magnum in his right hand, barrel pointing to the floor. Chavasse slid a hand inside his jacket, reaching for the Walther automatic in its special pocket, knowing he hadn't a chance, and Jorgensen grinned almost apologetically. "Too late, Paul. About 1,000 years too late." As the red light went out, he fired, and the flash picked him out of the darkness for one brief second. The last thing Chavasse saw before the heavy bullet smashed into him just below the breastbone, lifting him off his feet and back through the open door into the corridor. He hit the wall hard and slid to the floor, struggling for air, aware of voices near at hand, of running feet in the darkness, and then the corridor light came on, and Jorgensen appeared in the doorway. Chavasse still held the Walther in his right hand. He started to raise it, and Jorgensen stood there, waiting, the Smith & Wesson held against his thigh, something close to pity on his face. The Walther fired, the bullet kicking plaster from the wall at least 3 feet to one side of him. Then it seemed to jump out of Chavasse's hand. He gave a strange, choking cry and pitched forward onto his face. Hammond went up the curving Regency staircase and passed along the corridor. It was strangely quiet up there, somehow remote and cut off from the world outside. The only sound the slight persistent hum from the dynamos in the main radio room. He mounted 2 steps into another corridor, opened a large white-painted door, and went in. The room was small and plainly furnished, lined with green filing cabinets. Its only occupant, the woman who sat at the desk by the far door, typing busily on an electric machine. She was perhaps 30, plump and rather attractive, in spite of the heavy library spectacles she wore. She stopped typing and looked up anxiously. "Have you heard?" Hammond said. She nodded. "How is he?" "He didn't look too good when I left. They've got him in the medical room now." She nodded at the canvas grip he was carrying. "Is that what he was wearing?" Hammond nodded. "Yes, the chief wanted to see it. Is he in?" She flicked the switch on the intercom, and the dry remote voice joined them at once. "What is it?" "Colonel Hammond is here, Mr. Mallory." "Send him in." Hammond moved to the door, opened it, and went in. He closed it softly behind him and waited. The man who sat at the desk reading a sheaf of typewritten documents by the light of a shaded desk lamp might have been any high civil service executive at first glance. Everything about him seemed part of a familiar pattern. The well-cut dark blue suit that could only have come from Savile Row, the old Etonian tie, the silvering hair. And then he glanced up, and Hammond was aware of the sudden shock that contact with those cold grey eyes always gave, and that strange irrational feeling that he was once again a young subaltern, fresh out of Sandhurst, meeting his commanding officer for the first time. "Let's have a look at it, then." Hammond moved forward quickly, opened the canvas grip, and
Sample complete. Ready to continue?